Hello friends, welcome to Taxpuram. Today we are going to discuss about the common mistakes we do and what are all mistakes to avoid before filing income tax return. So most of us what we do at the time of filing return only will come to know these and all mistakes happen and there are a lot of chances of getting notices from the department. So in this video I am going to tell you some 10 to 14 points where we will cover types of mistakes we need to avoid before filing the income tax return. Let's get started. The first thing is you need to file your income tax return. Most of us think that okay, my employer has deducted my tax, so I no need to file the income tax. It is not like that. Even if your employer deducted the TDS and paid to the government, it is your obligation to file the income tax return. Filing income tax return gives lot of benefits. Okay, so let's say if you file the income tax returns, you may be chances of declaring your extra deductions at the time of filing, or there is a chance of getting refunds also. The second important thing is filing the income tax return before the due date. Most of us what we do is like we will skip the due date, okay, by maybe by lethargy whatever. So you need to keep in mind, if you are filing the income tax return after the due date, there is a chance of losing the carry forward of losses. Let's say you have done some long term or short term capital gains or capital losses you have which you want to carry forward to next year. But if those income tax return is not filed before the due date, we cannot carry forward the losses incurred. So please remember that to file your income tax return before the due date. The third point is which form to use. Let's say if you are a salaried guy, you know, if you have only one house property, you may choose ITR 1, right? Whereas you need to go for ITR 2. So you need to be clear that which ITR form to be chosen at the time of filing. Let's say if you chose some wrong form, what will happen? Obviously you will get the notice and we have to reply to again. So it is unnecessary thing we have to do. So before filing return, you please ensure this is the right form which I need to file. Another common mistake what we do is choosing the wrong assessment year. We need to remember the financial year and assessment year, there is a difference. Okay, usually for which year we are going to file the income tax return, that year is called financial year, and in which year you are filing the return, that is called assessment year. Okay, for example, for 21-22 is the assessment year, 20-21 is the financial year. But whenever you are paying taxes or filing income tax return, if you choosing the wrong assessment year, then let's say you are chosen a wrong assessment year and paid income tax advance or self-assessment tax, it will be very difficult to get the refund from the department by explaining those things. So please be careful at the time of filing return, choose correct assessment year. The next important thing is declaring all the deductions. Let's say what happened at the time of employment, we will be declaring some expenditures to the employer itself. But later we may be incurring additional expenditure or additional investments. So those investments we have to declare at the time of filing the income tax return, which is not declared to your employer. For example, let's say you bought a home in between the financial year, which is not declared to your employer, but we have to do one thing. At the time of filing the return, you need to now declare this information and file the return. So please remember, any expenditure which you additionally incurred which is not declared to your employer, it has to be declared now before filing the income tax return. Another important thing is you have to ensure all the personal informations are correct. Example, your mail ID, mobile number, address, all things should be perfect, because this income tax return also can be used as your address proof at the time of submitting to a bank or any other government organizations. And another important is, let's say if the income tax department wants to communicate with you, the mobile number and mail ID which you mentioned in the portal is very important. So please don't forget to give a correct information at the time of filing your return. You have to declare all sources of income. Let's say you are a salaried employee, you may be having income from FD, you may be having income from interest from PPF, etc. So either some of the income may be exempted in the income tax, but still you need to declare and claim the tax. For example, interest on PF is exempted. However, you need to declare it and claim the deduction. Similarly, any income other than what you already declared, like salary or business, maybe FD income, investment income, capital gains, losses, whatever is there, everything you have to declare in the income tax return. Sometimes it happens while filing the income tax return, we may be wrongfully giving some information or we will be committing some mistakes. But government is giving to chance to revise the return. So don't forget to revise your return if you have done any mistakes or corrections to be done in your existing return. Another common mistake what we do is not declaring the bank accounts. Let's say if you have 3 bank accounts, okay, so you have to declare all the bank accounts to the income tax department, and you need to choose any one bank account to get the refund. So it is very important to choose the correct bank account to get the refund, and also ensure all the bank statements and bank accounts are declared. Another important thing is comparing your TDS with the 26 AS. 26 AS is a statement where you know that what and all TDS amount is deducted by your employer or the third party. Example, when the bank is paying interest to you, bank also will deduct TDS on it, right? So similarly, whatever the TDS amount deducted by your employer and other parties, you need to match with your form 16 and form 16A, which may be given by the bank. So comparison of this 26 A's and form 16 is very important. Next important thing to remember is, even if you don't have any income, you need to file the return sometimes. Sometimes while paying the bank, while paying interest, they may be deducting the TDS. However, the interest amount may not be reaching the taxable income. So when you file your income tax return, there is chances of getting the refunds. So if you need refund, you need to file the income tax return. Last but not least, after filing your income tax return, you need to remember, you need to do e-verification of your returns within 120 days of filing. What happens if you are not e-verifying? If you are not e-verifying, the income tax return will not be processed. For example, if you claim some refund, that also will not be processed. And if you continuously not e-verified within 120 days, the income tax return will be invalidated. So please be careful. After filing returns, immediately you need to do your e-verification. For doing e-verification is very simple. Either you can do your using Aadhaar OTP, or you can do using your banking, internet banking, or finally if those two is not able to do it, then you can send directly to the CPC. So I think you got an idea what and all things to be keep in mind before filing the income tax return. Hope this information will be useful for you, and if you have any queries, please comment. We will be very happy to reply you. We will meet with another interesting topic in next video. Till then, Karthik signing off from Taxpuram. Thank you.